Righty boys and girls, let's talk about Ark Survival Ascended. Now, as an avid Ark Survival Evolved player with about 3,000 hours in the game, I wanted to make a quick vid to talk about the differences between the two games and answer the question, is it just a graphics update upgrade? What are we really paying for here? Now, when talking about the map, this is where I want to start. We are talking about the island here, of course. The size does seem overall to be bigger, which is good. The coordinates don't quite match the old Evolved map. They're actually just slightly off, I think, on the latitude. So it only seems slightly bigger from the coordinates, but it's actually feels a lot bigger. Animals do seem to move a bit quicker on their base movement speed, and I think your character does as well. But the map still feels bigger again. It takes a long time to get across even on a flyer, and that's a plus thing for me. And talking about the animals, I'm probably a little bit negative on this one. They mostly feel the same. They look for the most part the same, and they act the same, slightly better in very minute ways. The main thing I noticed when I tamed a Rex was that it turned faster, and water creatures, tamed a few of them now. They also seem to move around better. They can even jump out of the water without dying. In the behavioral patterns, I don't think you can actually do that when you're riding them. I'm not sure. As for the creatures, when they are fighting, I've kind of always wanted them to actually bite into and pierce and chomp through each other, but there's still the usual fights occur. You just kind of bite away at the air. It hits the target. I think it's got to be for the kids, of course. It'd be a bit too gory, probably, if it was biting through the other animals. Maybe they just can't make it in this engine, or it's, like I say, too gory. Maybe in the future, maybe Ark 2 will include some actual, like, T-Rex, smaller creature and just biting and eating it whole. We'll wait and see. And as for the water on the map, the sea, the rivers and stuff, upgraded, yes. Better than the old Ark? Yes, for sure. You've got better effects, the water moves better around the creatures when they walk in or through it. A real plus to the immersion of the game. Underwater feels better too, especially at the depths now, as we have luminescent plants down there, which light the way for you as you go through it. With the enhanced graphics, it generally feels a scarier place to be too, especially when an alpha mosasaur jumps you, which happened to me very recently. But what I would say here is that for anyone that played Atlas, another snail game, wildcard, whatever name they were using at the time, title, Atlas has better water that changes with the weather and affects the ships that sail through on that game. And you also get waves and sea foam and spray. It's probably the best water effects in any game that I've played. And it's kind of last generation now. So for Ark Ascended to not bump the water up to that level, it's a little bit disappointing. The only thing that I might say here is that we are in an arc. So the moon maybe doesn't come in effect. It doesn't affect the waves. So maybe they thought, okay, we don't need to do that. I think it can still be improved over time. Maybe it doesn't need to be as good as I would say as Atlas is, but I think it can be improved a bit more. Now for Taming, I thought I'd bring this one in. It's exactly the same as before. It still doesn't make sense to me on the default settings. I've never really liked Ark Taming. I'll tell you why. In reality, in real life, if you want to go out and trank a rhino, you bring a trank dart that can knock out a rhino. Normally, they knock out a rhino with one dart, maybe two if it takes, one more. They put a little bit of extra trank in a smaller dose. You don't shoot it with loads of darts until it's half dead, like Ark has always done it. The passive tames and Reaper tames in Ark, I don't mind, but I never have really been a fan of the trank situation, what we have going on here. There's multiple better ways of doing it, in my opinion, and normally mods do sort out the issue by allowing you to make suitable strength darts for the target you are trying to knock out. There's even the Taming barrel mod, which some of you guys may have used on Atlas, which also makes more sense to me. It's where you bait the animal in with its favorite food, mixed with narcotic mushrooms. It smells the barrel, walks towards it, it eats from the barrel, it basically knocks itself out, It's sleeping there, and then you just feed it in intervals from hand to mouth, and you get your tame that way. It's actually a lot easier, maybe a bit too easy, but it makes a bit more sense in my opinion. As for quality of life additions, there's actually quite a few of these, like the ability to change the field of view when on tames by holding the left Alt key, I think it was. Then you use the mouse wheel to zoom in or out. We also have several new map and track features. One on the map button to get the hollow in your hands. You just press the map button once. It's way more detailed than it used to be. It looks better. And you can also, I found that you can double tap it to get the interactive map up straight away without going into your inventory. Here you can track tames, waypoints and deaths with the ability to turn the waypoints on or off for when you actually need them. Another really cool quality of life change is the ability to change ammo or attachments on a weapon on the fly just by holding R or the reload button. I believe there's a load more quality changes as well, and I'm finding them out as I go along. In general, I think this is a big plus for the game. And then, kind of just to finish it all up, overall the graphics. I think this is the biggest improvement overall, and what we're kind of saying, is it just a graphics update? It's more than that, but this is the biggest difference. It looks absolutely fantastic in the upgraded engine, and has definitely breathed some new life into Ark. You got the clouds, the haze, the fog. Going up to the mountains is just a much bigger difference now. You also get the god rays that beam through the clouds, and they look like they're heating up the ground below in certain areas. It's a screenshot producing machine. Everywhere I fly around, I start using the new photo mode, which is another plus for the game. We have the new photo mode as well. Now, improvement areas. I would say mainly it's got to be the dinos. As said before, they look the same. They can definitely be improved graphically in certain areas. I think they can make them next gen. And a bit on the water and water effects here. Rain, it just seems to wet the place. There's no puddles and it doesn't splash off anything, land or water currently. So I think they can add that in future. It's probably an optimization issue. So that's the conclusion to this video. And it's, once again, we were talking about early alpha here, the same as Ark originally. There is some work to do. There are crashes to fix, optimizations to be put in place, maps to add, and a load more things to do. But still, Ark Survival Ascended is currently the top selling game on Steam. And it makes sense with so many fans of the old game. This one is an enjoyable experience which already betters a lot of the old Ark gameplay for me. So for that reason, I do think it's worth picking up. I'm pretty sure you're going to get hours out of this game, and that will make the price that you pay worth it. Because it seems like it's on a bit of a steep side, but we got to remember, Ark gives you so many hours of gameplay in comparison to other titles. What I would say though, is that you need to look for a server to enjoy the game on. The official stuff isn't for everyone. I normally play unofficial, and I'm currently playing on a friend server with boosted rates for a more fun, less grindy experience. There's quite a few guys that had a great unofficial PvE or PvE server on the old Ark, and now with the Nitradle server contract thing being changed, those guys that had their own server should start moving them over to Ascended. So that's going to be great for the future of the game. So with that said, that's my views on Ark Survival Ascended. Please make sure to like if you enjoyed the video, and comment your thoughts on Ark Ascended below. Are you enjoying the game? What is your favorite thing about Ascended so far? Would you recommend others to buy it? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be streaming over on Twitch, so if you want to pop by and say hi, I'll see you there. Normally in the evening